actually long one should be over here, right?
Yes,
As Vice President of the Community Council of Medgar Evers College, I now declare the 18th commencement exercise in session. Let us rise and sing, lift every voice and sing, and remain standing through the invocation by
Let us pray. O God of grace and God of glory, on thy people for thy power. We come today in celebration of that great virtue of hope and joy and eternity education, that instrument that provides opportunity for those who would seek to learn. We would pray in this gathering that you would bless those who administer this program at Medgar Evers College, those who are recipients of those services, and this great community who stand to benefit from their largesse. We remember the struggles that made it apparent that this community needed this institution. Keep us all mindful of the leaders like the one whose name it bears, that spirit is one that will keep it forever. And now, as we go into the commencement exercises this year, we would ask you to give a special blessing to the graduates for their dedication and for their work. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to introduce Dr. Leo A. Corby, Acting President of Medgar Evers College.
On behalf of the trustees of the City University of New York, the faculty and students of Medgar Evers College, and the Community Council, it is a pleasure to welcome parents, spouses, children, families, and honored guests to this memorable ceremony. Since the establishment of the first universities, the tradition has been one of awarding through ceremony acknowledgement of academic achievement. Following that tradition, in the name of Medgar Evers, a symbol of courage, freedom, and perseverance, we have assembled here today to honor the men and women of the class of 1989. We know that the degrees to be awarded here today represent sacrifices on the part of many families, as well as sustained and earnest efforts on the part of all of the students. It is a great occasion in the lives of these families and students. In a memorable tradition, we salute and acknowledge their achievement.
Can we ask the audience
Pardon?
to please have a seat? Can we ask the audience to sit?
You may be seated at this point. Okay. The most important part of the speech I left out. It is my pleasure at this point to present the Honorable Calvin O. Presley, who is a member of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York.
President Corby, graduating students, families of graduates, honored guests, friends all, good morning. I'm delighted to be present today to bring you greetings on behalf of the trustees of the City University of New York. My 15 colleagues applaud your achievement on the occasion of the 1989 commencement at Medgar Evers College. There is a national educational reform movement afoot in America. Part of the origin of this educational reform movement that started 5 years ago is contained in that seminal book, A Nation at Risk. Two of the memorable phrases from that book that have entered our vocabulary are a rising tide of mediocrity and unthinking unilateral educational disarmament. It's important that we all understand what is at stake. To stem the tide and to prevent the educational disarmament, today's graduates must be committed to quality education for all. You graduates today are our society's best hope to help solve major societal problems. These are critical times in the history of our city and our nation. We're faced with major health crises such as AIDS, the open wound of urban and rural homelessness, the pragmatic need for productive research and development, the national disaster of drug addiction, and the festering polarization of ethnic groups. We need the best thinking we can enlist for solutions to these problems. Each of you had to succeed here in order to qualify for your degrees. And now we look to you for fresh ideas and discoveries that will stimulate economic and social and cultural health of this democratic republic. The students graduating today have much to be proud of. Each of you is a shield against this rising tide of mediocrity. Now, in the judgment of this nationally and even internationally recognized faculty, You have qualified for the degrees that are about to be awarded. The special and rich perspectives of this largest public urban university, that is City University, that Medgar Evers is such a noble part, is rooted in the diverse communities of the city that many of you will choose to use your skills in. For that, we thank you. And today you are surrounded by admiring family, friends, faculty, and well-wishers, students all. They are your emotional support system that have helped you to make this day possible. You've completed a demanding program that for many of you was accomplished under the most difficult of circumstances. You have much to be proud of. We're proud of you. My colleagues on the CUNY Board of Trustees join me in wishing all of you health, happiness, and success all of the days of your lives. God bless you.
Thank you, Trustee Presley. As you can see, we're new at this. This is the first time we've had a graduation in this amphitheater, which is quite beautiful. And because of its beauty, I have neglected some of my duties here, one of which was to ask you to sit down, and the other to tell you who Dr. Presley is. The Honorable Calvin O. Presley was appointed by the governor to the Board of Trustees in March of 1989. The Reverend Presley is a prominent clergyman who has been involved in job training, education, and community development efforts in New York City for the past 20 years. Mr. Presley has been Executive Director of the New York City Mission Society since 1978. From 1967 to 1978, Mr. Presley was Executive Director of Opportunities Industrialization Center of New York, Incorporated, a self-help organization which teaches the unemployed and unskilled marketable job skills and places them in jobs. He was also director of the Interfaith Citywide Coordinating Committee Against Poverty from 1976 to 1978. Mr. Presley also serves as a member of the board of directors of a number of other agencies and committees, including the Harlem International Trade Center, the Harlem Urban Development Corporation, the New York City Task Force on Human Services, the New York State Advisory Council of Employment and Unemployment Insurance, and the New School for Social Research's Center for New York City Affairs. He is a Drake University graduate. Again, thank you, Dr. Presley. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Tony Lynch, the president of the Student Government Association of Medgar Evers College. Mr. Lynch's remarks are on behalf of the entire student body.
Thank you, Mr. President. Honored members of the dais, faculty, staff, friends, relatives, and most important, the graduating class of 1989. Good morning and welcome to one of the most celebrated days of college life. I stand before you today not as a graduate, but as an example of what hard work and dedication can enable an individual to achieve. You graduates, because of your hard work and dedication, are assembled here today. The pride and exhilaration of this moment will be forever etched in our memories. The theme chosen for this year's graduation, and I don't think a more appropriate theme could have been chosen, is making every dream gradually a reality. Medgar, your home, so to speak, for the last 2 or 4 years. And speaking of making dreams real, today is most certainly a dream come true for many, if not all of us. I know I keep dreaming of that day in June 1991 when my degree will be conferred. But I not only dream of that moment, I spend my time seeking to make that dream a reality. Graduates, you must not only dream of being better or doing better, but you must spend your waking moments seeking to realize those dreams that you harbor. We live in a world of dreamers, but it is only those who reinforce on those dreams that succeed. The pilgrims who came to this country dreamed of building a better place and of leading a better life. As people of the African diaspora, I cannot say that we harbored such dreams. We know all too well the history of how we came to this country. Yet through our struggles, our ability to dream was not chained. You know the saying, you can chain a body, but you cannot chain a mind. The Nat Turners, Harriet Tubmans, Frederick Douglasses, and yes, the man for whom this institution was named, Medgar Evers, I believe, were all dreamers. They dreamed of a better life for their people and sought by their life's work to make that dream a reality. Graduates, you must not be afraid to dream. In his book, In Search of Identity, the late President of Egypt, Anwar Sadat, said, and I quote, "He who cannot change the very fabric of his thought will never change time and will therefore never make any progress." Graduates, you must not only dream of change, but you must work for it as well. One of the greatest dreamers and orators of our time articulated his dream in his now famous "I Have a Dream" speech. You all know who he was actually. He was Dr. Martin Luther King. He said, and I quote, "I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up to live out the true meaning of its creed. And as you may well know, graduates, this nation has been slow to rise to any occasion where people of color are concerned. Therefore, your charge must be to, in your most articulate fashion, move this nation toward that dream." Graduates, it is only by doing that that one of King's dreams and yours can be realized. His dream was deeply rooted in the American dream. Now, I know some of you might say that you do not embody the American dream, but no matter how you fashion, or shall I say slice it, we to all extent believe in the American dream. We all want a decent education, that good job with an excellent salary, and the ability to live in a neighborhood to enjoy creature comforts. Wherever you go in this world today, you will find people who want the best from life. Graduates, it is in seeking the best that you must not become short-sighted. Our society is falling apart. Our immediate communities are disintegrating, and our value system has been destroyed. Whenever you look around, you wonder why all the drugs, all the hopelessness, and the homelessness. Graduates, you have work to do. Our young men and women are strung out and dropping out. Dropping out not only out of school, but out of life. Why? Because they no longer dream of a better place or of leading a better life. You must teach these young people to dream again. You must build in them a sense of hope, or the dreams that you have for yourself and for them will never come to fruition. Graduates, I should like to close with two quotes from a document that I've always found inspiring, and I hope that these words inspire you. The document is called the Desiderata. The first quote is, "Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time." The second is, "You are children of the universe. No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be. And whatever your labors and aspiration in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be careful, strive to be happy. And as you leave here today, take with you the theme, and make every dream gradually a reality.
Thank you, Mr. Lynch. Mr. James Sutton is the president of the class of 1989. Mr. Sutton's remarks are on behalf of all of the graduates.
Thank you. Mr. President, faculty, distinguished guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. With all the good deeds in the world, a paradox of oppression still lingers. Realizing this is not a perfect world, reforms are critical in uplifting our race. As a people, we need to be active participants in our community. We cannot look to our future unless we know where we have been or where we now stand. The fundamental belief in combining forces and achievements in our community, at a minimum, not be fruitless if we do good deeds and stand together. We as students must consider the appropriate time to act and react because decisions should not ever be made for us. One ethnic group cannot and should not decide the future of another. African Americans and other ethnic groups share social forces such as economic disparity and all the negative operatives in society, which serves as the greatest needs that we encounter in the struggle for survival and control. It is my belief that education is and should always be our top priority. I want to continue to do good deeds in our world so that any existing oppression may be uplifted. I promise to follow through on our dream and to throw the torch to those who follow. Education for all is foremost. Rather than being seen as economically deprived or socially underprivileged individuals, we must formulate and implement solutions and make sure that we are no longer pawns for the privileged class. With this in mind, each graduate should be proud of his or her accomplishments. Continue to strive for those individuals who will not come after us, but for those who lost their lives in the fight for civil rights. This is my quote for the senior class of 1989. Be not like the willow which bends in the wind, but grow like the mighty oak tree which stands steadfast through all adversities. As your senior class president and fellow graduates, the good deeds that you have performed have made it possible for the theme that I have chosen and created. Making every dream gradually a reality, Medgar, M-E-D-G-A-R. Congratulations to my class of 1989, and Mary, I will see you at Columbia.
Honor to present this year's commencement orator, the Honorable Percy Sutton. The Honorable Percy Sutton, Air Force veteran, attorney, civil rights activist, businessman, lecturer, and former public official. At this time, I'd like to ask him to join me at the podium. Let me tell you something about Mr. Sutton. Mr. Sutton was born in San Antonio, Texas, the youngest of 15 children. He received his early education in Texas and later attended several universities and colleges, including Hampton, Tuskegee, Columbia University, and Brooklyn Law School. He was a New York State Assemblyman for 2 years and was president of the Borough of Manhattan from 1966 to 1977. Though no longer an elected political representative, he still maintains a lively interest in the political life of the city, the state, and the nation. Today, his activities are centered in business. As chairman of the Inner City Broadcasting Corporation, he has built an entertainment and communications empire that ranks as one of the largest black-owned businesses in the country. Inner City Broadcasting owns 7 radio stations, a cable television franchise in Queens, and refurbished the Apollo Theater. The Honorable Percy Sutton serves on the executive committee and boards of several community organizations, including the Association for a Better New York, the Boy Scouts of America, the New York Board of Trade, and Hale House. Over the years, he has achieved more than 400 local and national awards. He has received more than 400 local and national awards, honoring his contributions in the fields of civil rights, human rights, communications, business, and philanthropy. He has been an adjunct professor and guest lecturer in politics, government, finance, urban affairs, and communications in several colleges and universities, including Howard University, Harvard University, Yale University, the University of Texas, Williams College, Smith College, Kansas State University, Florida State University, Columbia University, New York University, and the City University of New York. And today, Medgar Evers College joins the list with the distinct pleasure of hearing from the Honorable Percy Sutton.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excuse me, Mr. Sutton. I'd like to present you with this award.
Oh, thank you.
The class of 1989 and Medgar Evers College would like to present this award in appreciation for your outstanding leadership and humanity in the areas of law, business, politics, education, mass communication, and for your generous philanthropic efforts to the world, community, and particularly Medgar Evers College. Thank you, Mr. Sutton.
Thank you, Mr. President. Those Suttons are doing all right, aren't they? The other Mr. President, Dr. Carby, distinguished faculty members, graduates, friends, and my sponsor, Dr. Betty Shabazz. I mention this because, my brothers and sisters, you have never known a tyrant until you've known Betty Shabazz. Some time ago, when she informed me the possibility of my addressing you here today, she told me I must be here. I said I was going to be in California today. She said, no, you must be in Brooklyn. And then, in the past 3 weeks, I think not a day has passed that this tyrant has not called me. She wrote the speech. She asked me to edit the speech. I didn't like that which she wrote. I tried to change it. She corrected it. Then I said I wouldn't return the speech to her anymore. And on yesterday, she sent another speech. I have not read it. You saw that I came in late, and the reason I'm late is because I got caught on the Brooklyn Bridge. There was an accident on the Brooklyn Bridge, and then they were making some much-needed repairs there, and they delayed us for more than 45 minutes there. Otherwise, be assured, I would have been here earlier. I would have wished to have heard all that is said. Dr. Calvin Presley, like Dr. Betty Shabazz, are two people who have done so much for me. I am forever grateful, and I'm glad to see both of them present here. When we were beginning to structure Inner City Broadcasting Corporation, Dr. Betty Shabazz was then recovering from the death of her husband, and yet she took out the money, all of the money they had from her family, and invested in Inner City Broadcasting Corporation, as did Dr. Presley. So when Dr. Carby introduced me and said that I headed Inner City Broadcasting Corporation, he mentioned the television system, he mentioned the Apollo Theater, I want you to know that nobody stands alone. And especially do I want each graduate to know that. Nobody stands alone. Each of us are standing on someone else's shoulders. I'm standing on the shoulders of Betty Shabazz and Calvin Presley and a number of other people who had faith, who said we could do it, that African Americans could enter the arena, could own radio stations. At that time, only 2 people, African Americans, owned radio stations, and now more than 108 own radio stations. I wonder if you could stand just for a minute, because you must be very tired. Stand just for a second. The 7th inning stretch. Don't you like this out here? Isn't this beautiful? I like the surrounding. I think of all the years that so many of us, you, me, and others were involved in trying to get the money to structure this. And now look what all of our efforts have done. Please be seated. Commencement exercises qualify, thank you so very much, as one of the more subtle and real forms of cruel and inhuman treatment available to a sophisticated society. The solemnity of the event encourages the speaker to dip deeply into his or her collection of cliches and to spew pomposities equaled only by those of 4th of July orators in the small towns of mid-America. Having once started, stopping becomes a problem, since the supply of appropriate platitudes and the opportunities for oratorial embellishment seem endless. Those of us who accept these assignments come quickly to a realization that we have caught a tiger by the tail. Towards the end of the ceremony, that by its nature is both long and debilitating, we have the unenviable opportunity to impart sage advice to an audience that after years of listening to lectures and turning in term papers is sufficiently exhausted and jaded to want nothing more than to pick up the validating certificates of their achievement, of their patience, and be gone. Am I correct? Oh, but I'm not going to let you off that easy. Oh, no, this is a part of the continuing punishment. Now, if you think you've been punished, in the vernacular of 135th Street where I live in Harlem, let me say you ain't seen nothing yet. Think of the years ahead of you. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we're living in a fascinating time. We're living in an exciting time, a new era. An old order has changed. An era has passed. A new day is upon us. America has passed from the agricultural society of George Washington and the 18th century and the days of ox-drawn plows and the horse-drawn wagons and into and through the industrial society. The industrial society of steel mills, coal mines, and heavy manufacturing of cars, boats, and machinery. We're now in the early days of a high technology, service-oriented society, a society of high-speed computers, satellites, microchips, laser beams, fiber optics, and exotic communication, spaceships, space miracles, and daily wonders, and multinational corporations reaching not just across national boundaries, but across oceans, seas, and continents as well. Americans and the world family as a whole live in an intergalactic society, an intergalactic world, a world of multinational corporations and a global economy. We live in a world circumscribed neither by capitalism nor communism. It is a world so dynamic and so different from the past that ideologies and nations appear less important than the interdependency of these nations in their businesses, their commerce, and their economic well-being. Today we go to bed at night knowing that the New York Stock Exchange has gone up or down. And we wake up tomorrow to learn that the Tokyo Stock Exchange has finished its trading day and that the London Stock Exchange is already well along into its trading day. And a simple observation of the influences that each of these stock markets and other markets have on each other sends a message to us all that there is an interrelationship between the ups and downs of each of the stock markets and the economies of the nation's world. Now, why should I mention stock markets to you? I mention them because they have a direct relation upon how much you earn, how much can be shipped from this country, how much we buy, and where we go. Socialism seems to act like communism. Socialism seems to act like capitalism. And capitalists take on the better aspects of socialism. Indeed, the nations of the world sometimes appear to be called Exxon, IBM, General Motors, Ford, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and British Petroleum. And the ideologies of the world appear to be the dollar, the mark, the peso, the pound, the ruble, and the yen. The jobs of today and the immediate tomorrows, the tomorrows in which you go forth, will be in the fields of communications from which I come, in health, in education, in telecommunications, in electronics, and in the sciences, in banking, and insurance, and in finance. But whatever the jobs, and wherever they are, essential to those jobs is an education. And that is that which you're celebrating today, an education, a hard-earned education. Am I correct? Was it hard-earned? But whatever the jobs, and wherever they are, you are going to work at them. Our large and small businesses are where you may go. Our Army, our Navy, our Air Force, our Coast Guard, our managers, and yes, our entire military complex, and even our McDonald's, our Burger Kings, our Wendy's, our Kentucky Fried Chicken, all of them will need people who can read, write, compute, and work with, and organize, and direct other people. An educated society is a better employed society. An educated child is a child with hope. An educated father, and I should pause here to tell you that Dr. Carby mentioned the fact that I was one of 15 children. I should tell you that all 15 children are from the same mother and father. And I should tell you also that of the 12 who lived to maturity, all 12 were graduates of a college in America. I tell you this because I had a mother and father who taught each of us that every little Sutton was going to learn through here if possible, through here if necessary. My father was my junior high school principal in San Antonio, Texas. My mother was my first grade teacher, and 6 of my older brothers and sisters taught me before I was graduated from high school. My father and mother structured into me, as they did each other Sutton, that each of us was going to be successful. But success didn't mean making money. Money is important. Success meant getting an education and taking that which each of us has and making the best of it. That was their definition of success, and that remains my definition of success. I say this to you because when people graduate from a school, from a college, from a university, people ask them, what are you going to do? And sometimes they put a dollar sign on that which you're going to do. Someone says, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be a scientist. And someone would have the audacity to ask you the question, why don't you change and do this because you can make more money? Well, let me say something to each of you. If you came to me and asked me, Mr. Sutton, or Percy, or Omar Wale, which name I like. Omar Wale, you see, means in the country of Nigeria, in that part that speaks that language. It means the son has returned home. So whatever name you would approach me with, if you ask me how to be successful, what road you would take, I would tell you the story that Dr. Betty Shabazz's husband told me. One day I was riding in a car with him, representing him as a lawyer in a case that was in court. And I was riding between 2 people in the front seat. One, driving, was armed. One on my right was armed. Minister Malcolm was in the rear, 2 people armed on each side of him. And I turned back and said, Mr. Minister, doesn't this frighten you? Isn't this disturbing to you? He said, yes, counselor, it is disturbing, but it makes them happy. He said, my own philosophy is that what is to be will be. And he told me the story of Omar. How much truth there was to the story, I don't know. But it was a story that then abided in the culture of the Arab states, at least some parts of that culture. He said that Omar went to his master and said, Omar was a slave, he said to his master, master, oh master, give me your fastest horse and let me ride. I've seen the face of death. I can outride death by day. And the master gave him the fastest horse, and for the first day he rode. And he beat death because he was able to ride and avoid death, ride until sunset when he was safe, until the sun would rise again. The first day he rode, the second day he rode, and on the third day, just as the sun was about to set, riding this fast horse, he saw a number of paths in front of him, and he started down the center path. Then he checked the horse, pulled him up short, and decided to go down the right path. He turned again, halted the horse, and went down the path to the left of the center. And there, within 100 yards down the path, in the center of the path, stood the face of death. And death said to Omar, "Omar, where have you been? For 3 days I've waited this spot. Why has it taken you so long to come?" He said, "So you see, counselor, you can twist and you can turn, but somehow, whatever's to happen is going to happen." He said, "Now, counselor, on the other hand, I wouldn't suggest you jump out of a tall building. I wouldn't suggest you stand in the center of the path of an oncoming truck." What Minister Malcolm said to me then, I found so true in life. We start down one road, and I suggest this to you as graduates. Don't let people tell you how to get rich. If you're to be rich, start down the road that you have selected. And I would tell you a personal story. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I liked animals. I lived on a farm. But because I am black, because I'm an Afro-American, I could not get into Texas A&M College to be a veterinarian. We sued the state of Texas, and we got what was then known as the first out-of-state grant. That is, they paid me to go to another school out of the state, rather than have me contaminate the students in the veterinary school at Texas A&M. Then I arrived in Iowa, my selected school, only to be turned back there. So I went back to Texas, and I resumed my effort to learn to fly. I became a pilot, and I began doing stunts in Mexico, Arkansas, Louisiana, and a variety of other places. And then the Air Force began to permit African Americans to be admitted. I became a flight instructor. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I became a flight instructor. And just as I was graduating, a malaria that I'd picked up in Mexico while flying came back to haunt me. And I was denied graduation as a pilot because I had malaria. So I went then to the Air Force Academy, then for officers. And I became an Air Force officer. And then, after having been rejected 3 times from the intelligence school established because they were not willing to accept any African Americans there, though we were going to fight the same war, I was finally admitted in the 4th class, and I was graduated. And then I went into the military, and I became the intelligence officer for a black fighter group, the 332nd Fighter Group. And I went overseas, and I was sent to join British intelligence, and I became an escape and evasion officer. And while there, they said, since he's an intelligence officer, he ought to be intelligent. So they assigned me to be the second in command in defending a man who was going to be hanged if we lost the case. We lost the case. And I appealed to the commanding general not to hang the man because he had had insufficient and ineffective counsel. But I declared on that day I was going to be a lawyer, because no one else would ever receive my knowledge, my information, my advice, and it'd be incompetent advice. So you see, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I couldn't be a veterinarian. I wanted to be a veterinarian, so I became a pilot. While becoming a pilot, I washed out of graduate school. And when I got washed out there, I became an intelligence officer. And because I failed as an intelligence officer assigned to defend someone, I decided to become a lawyer. And then I came to New York. I came to New York to become a lawyer. I was rejected from Harvard Law School, though my grades were superior to others, because I was stupid enough to say that I was from New York. I wanted so much to be a New Yorker. Had I known that they made some selections on geography, I would have said properly that I was from Texas. So I went to Columbia University. I went to the School of Economics and Business Administration, seeking to get in there. I finally became a lawyer, going then to Brooklyn Law School because I was working 12 hours a day from 4 p.m. And I said just this to you because hard work, I am now in the October or November of my life, and it doesn't hurt. Those 16 hours a day that I worked from 4 p.m. until midnight in the post office at 32nd Street and 8th Avenue in Manhattan, and then from 12:30 to 8:30 in the morning as a conductor on the D train, and then went to graduate school or law school and did it for 4 years, and on weekends worked as a waiter in London's and Sheepshead Bay. I tell you all these places so that you can check up on me. And then back into the military, and then into Harlem where I knew no one, established a law practice, worked for nothing while working in the subway at night. For 11 consecutive years, I lost election after election after election in Harlem. Finally won and went to the State Assembly. Then became borough president. And then lost when I ran for mayor. And then went into business. Made applications for 4 cable television systems, 1 in Washington, D.C., 1 in Philadelphia, and 1 in Detroit, and 1 in New York City. Lost in Detroit, lost in Philadelphia, lost in Washington, D.C., but 1 in New York. The reason I say this to you is, don't worry about where you're going. Don't worry about where you're going. Remember the path down which the man went. Start down any path that you're comfortable with. In the practice of law, I learned a lot about business. I'd had a background in business. I'd grown up in a family. We were in the undertaking business in San Antonio. We were in the funeral supplies business. We were in the burial insurance business. We were in roller skate business. We were in mattress making business. We were in real estate business. So I learned as a child the art of business. But I'd never been in business. So I failed running filling stations here. I failed in real estate. I failed in a variety of things, and even now, for every 4 things I start, I fail in 3 of them. But that one makes up for all the rest. And I say this to each of you because you're going to worry about what am I going to do? Or you may even be cocky about it. You may be so self-assured now that, oh, Percy Sutton standing up there talking all that stuff. He doesn't know me. I want you to know that every bit of arrogance that you have at this moment, I had. Every bit of confidence you have at this moment, every bit of insecurity that you have at this moment, I had. I would close by saying to you, nothing profound, nothing really profound, but I'd ask you, wherever you go and whatever you do, remember this. Remember I said I was standing on Calvin Presley and Betty Shabazz's shoulders and others. Remember this, the fact that you're here today, you're standing on a mother, a father, a husband, a sister, an aunt, a relative. Somebody helped you get here. Someone took care of your babies. Someone took care of you. Someone cared about you. And now that you're on your way to success in whatever venue success shall come, please never forget. Never forget who you are. Never forget that where you are today is because a lot of people have died. People have hurt. Remember there was a Paul Robeson. Remember that there was a Malcolm X. Remember that there was a Martin Luther King. Remember there were the nameless ones. Those who went the back roads. Those who were jailed. Those who were washed down by water hoses and attacked by dogs. Those who sat in, rode in, demonstrated to make this a place that so when you travel along a highway now, you can get a drink of water. You won't be like me in 1963 when I tried to get a drink of water and have a sandwich on Route 40 on the way from New York to the nation's capital, and I was jailed. You won't be like me when I walked to a urinal in Jackson, Mississippi, and I was jailed. The audacity of using a white urinal. You won't be like me watching a wrestling match in Houston, Texas, and going to jail. You won't be like me going to jail 13 times over the years for the simple reason that I wanted to be an American. No, you won't be like that. But the only reason you're not like that is because some other people died, went to jail, and permitted you to stand on that shoulder. So when you are successful, when the managing partner of the law firm, the managing partner of the accounting firm, when the chairman of the board or the president of the company that you go to or the bank in which you work says nice things about you and tells you you're smart and that you're different from those other people. No, you're not different. You may be intelligent. You may have had help. You may have applied yourself, and you have, but you're not different. Because where you're able to go there because someone else sacrificed for you to be able to go there. So when you get there, don't go and buy that Porsche. Don't buy that Mercedes. Don't buy that Cadillac. Don't go off to some far wintering places without remembering that there are a lot of other people in the inner cities. They're your sisters. They're your brothers. They're your cousins. They're those who are poverty-stricken. They're those who are walking on feet that are sore, feet without shoes. And when you go into a library to take a book down from the shelf, remember how many illiterates there are all around you. Come back. Come back and teach them how to read. Come back and help somebody across. Help them across the bridge that you've already crossed. And finally, my brothers and sisters, let me wish you well. And if you ever, and I say this very often, and I get inundated by those who say, is he for real? Yes, I am for real. If I can ever help in any way, reach out for me. Because everything I am you 50 years later. Bald head, ugly, tired, I am you. Because I am you, I understand you. And because I am of you, I want to help you. God bless you, Godspeed, and good luck to all of you.
I won't attempt to characterize that speech, but thank you so much, Honorable Percy Sutton. Let's applaud Mr. Sutton again. I understand that Miss Marceline Watler, the president of the Alumni Association, has arrived. Miss Watler?
Members of the graduating class of 1989, on behalf of the Medgar Evers College Alumni Association, I congratulate you. You've worked hard and long to get to this point in your lives. You've experienced this college and benefited from all it offers. You have proudly earned the status of graduate. And after these ceremonies today, I welcome you into the ranks of alumni. Join the Alumni Association and continue to participate in the exciting adventure of moving Medgar Evers College forward. Never forget this institution and how it empowered you. Always remember the tools it gave you to compete and grow in the wider society. Be sure to give it your support and reflect in your own lives the quality of education here at Medgar Evers College. Project the mission of this college and proudly shout its name. Expand your human spirit to evoke love, caring, and respect for your people and help to change the social dilemmas of our time. Do not just leave with a paper, a degree. Use that degree. Let it work for you and let it work for your people. Graduates of Medgar Evers, continue, as I say, to project this college through your own advancement and individual attributes. Our graduates are doing great things. I want to take this opportunity to show you one person in our dais who has gone on. Mr. William Boone, who recently, Mr. Boone, graduated from CUNY Law School last Friday, Doctor of Jurisprudence. You too can go on. Let this be the beginning, the step toward further great things in your lives. Join the Alumni Association. I have a whole bag of applications here today. Follow your dreams. Take one step at a time. Don't settle for less. Just continue to climb. Follow your dreams. If you stumble, don't stop. Keep your eye on your goal. Press on to the top. For it's only at the top that you can see the whole view. It's only at the top that you can see what you have done and what you can do. It is only at the top that you will have the vision to seek something new. So, graduates, press on. Don't stop. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wadler. At this time, I'd like to introduce someone to you who's been a real friend of Medgar Evers College. He was the only senator in the New York State legislature who spoke up in the 11th hour for funding for four-year status for Medgar Evers College. His name is Senator Marty Markowitz. Senator? I want to make sure there are no other elected officials here who I've missed. Pleasure of presenting Ms. Joseline A. Edwards, the salutatorian of the class of 1989. She has a grade point average of 3.93 out of a possible 4 and is receiving a Bachelor of Science degree in education. Ms. Edwards.
President Corby, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, and graduating class of 1989, welcome to this grand and unique occasion. It is grand because of the ceremonial pomp and splendor that accompanies events such as these, and also because so many of you have come to witness the culmination of years of intensive study, heartbreak, and frustration. It is unique because it is the first commencement exercise to be held in this gorgeous amphitheater that is a part of this magnificent new structure that now houses Medgar Evers College. I am particularly proud to be a part of the Medgar Evers experience. We are a caring community in which faculty, staff, and students relate to each other as one big family. The impact of this realization cannot be explained. It has to be experienced. Medgar Evers College is not only concerned with the cognitive development of its students, but also with the fact that by serving as appropriate role models, the faculty demonstrates such values as humility, honesty, and self-love. They have taught us to love ourselves for what we are. We are black. We are beautiful. We are endowed with the same potential as other high-achieving people. And we can achieve as much and even more than they if we are prepared to make the effort. When I enrolled at Medgar Evers College as a student, I was 57 years old. And it was not long before I realized that I was the oldest student in each of the beginning classes. This realization did enormous damage to my self-esteem. Dr. Loney, the chairperson of the Education Division, prodded and encouraged me. The warmth of the other faculty members and my peers sustained me. I am Guyanese by birth. I had been a teacher in Guyana for 35 years and head teacher of an elementary school for 4 years before emigrating to the United States. I am a graduate of the Government Teachers Training College and the University of Guyana. I have a husband, 7 grown children, and several grandchildren. Years elapsed between my graduation at the University of Guyana and the commencement of my education at Medgar Evers College. Initially, I could not remember any new material that I read and expressed the fear that even the material stored in my memory would be difficult to retrieve. My professors had no doubts about my capabilities. They knew that with my academic background, all I needed was wise guidance and encouragement, both of which they provided. Here I am, addressing this great audience as the second honors scholar of the 1989 graduating class. Age has not thwarted my thrust for success. I thank my professors and those who served as my mentors. I thank all the faculty members who have contributed to my education at Medgar Evers College. In his book, The Magic of Thinking Big, Dr. David Schwartz writes, I quote, "Nothing, absolutely nothing in this life gives more satisfaction than knowing you're on the road to success and achievement. And nothing stands as a bigger challenge than making the most of yourself." End of quote. As I leave the portals of Medgar Evers College and look forward to the administrative teaching assignment that awaits me in one of the private schools in Brooklyn, I shall always reflect on the writings of Dr. Schwartz. However, it will be both selfish and ungrateful if I neglect to acknowledge publicly that whatever success I have achieved was made possible primarily because of the support of my family. Thanks to my husband for relieving me of my responsibilities at home. To my son for providing me with the taxi fare on those cold, wintry nights when we had no car, and to my daughter for typing all my assignments, even at the shortest notice, and to the others who chauffeured me back and forth to college. Thank you for the honor bestowed on me today.
Thank you, Ms. Edwards. I now have the pleasure of presenting Ms. Jacinta D. Adams, the valedictorian of the class of 1989. Ms. Jacinta Adams has a grade point average of 3.98. She is receiving a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing.
Mr. President, faculty, guests, and students, I am deeply appreciative of the honor you have bestowed on me by affording me the pleasure of addressing you today as a valedictorian of the graduating class of 1989. This is, without a doubt, one of the moments of my life that time will not erase from my memory. I want to thank all of those who have helped to make this moment possible. There are many of you that have helped me in ways that you probably cannot imagine or probably have forgotten, but I have not forgotten. However, it is not possible for me to list all the people to whom I owe my thanks and my gratitude. So, to those of you that I do not mention, I want you to know that this is not a reflection of my lack of appreciation, for I am truly grateful for the help you have given me in the past, and I hope it continues into the future. First, I want to thank all the wonderful, brilliant members of the nursing faculty for their guidance and support. I must admit that I have never before encountered teachers who have demanded the kind of academic excellence that you have demanded. I must confess that as a result of your demands, you, the teachers, were called names that even you did not know existed. But I have gained a tremendous amount of knowledge from your outstanding performance as teachers, and I thank you. As a result of excellent teaching, I now understand and have mastered chemistry, now appreciate the simplification of public bureaucracy, and found critical issues an enjoyable and enlightening experience. Faculty provided me with a positive outlook during my first semester at Medgar Evers College. The knowledge imparted by these instructors helped me to recognize that Medgar Evers College was capable of delivering a high level of education. My first impression of Medgar Evers College has not changed over the years. Achieving a BSN degree has required many sacrifices on my part, but it has also meant that my family members made great sacrifices. Thank you, Eugene, my son, for the love understanding, and patience, and for being the kind of son every mother dreams of having. My parents are not physically here with me today, but I wish to acknowledge my greatest debt and express my deepest appreciation for the gift they have given me. This gift is the value of education. Early in my childhood, my parents started to instill in me the value of education. They pointed out the advantages of education and the horrible alternatives of a lack of education. My parents were determined to give me the opportunity that they never had. Unfortunately, my father was called to eternal rest before his mission was accomplished. But before he departed, he made my mother promise to continue educating his children, and she succeeded in keeping this promise to the best of her ability. She made sure that I received a high school education and acquired my GCE. For those of you who are not familiar with the British system of education in the West Indies, GCE means General Certificate of Education. I wish to thank my fellow scholars, those in the nursing program as well as those in other programs, for the support they have given me. Knowing we all shared the struggle somehow helped to make the task a little easier. To my colleagues in the nursing program, we have shared much over the years. We have laughed and we have cried. We have stumbled, but somehow we were able to prevent each other from falling. I want you to know that I appreciate every minute of the times we shared, and I hope that over the course of time, the bond that we share will not be completely severed. And now, I must thank our Heavenly Father for the blessings He has bestowed upon us, for the love and support of family and friends, for health, strength, courage, and willpower to overcome the many hurdles experienced in our lives. Quite early in my life, I began to realize just how significant education was and how correct my parents were in emphasizing the importance of education. Armed with a GCE certificate, I was able to gain entry into the civil service of the government of Grenada. The GCE also helped me to receive first priority when nursing candidates were selected for training in nursing schools in England. However, I did not complete my nursing education in England. Instead, after spending 7 months in England, I found my way to the United States. Coming to the United States has been an eye-opening, hair-raising experience. It seemed as though I was living in a different time frame. Values were different, and changes were occurring rapidly. I quickly realized that my GCE was not sufficient. It was enough to get me into certain types of employment and enough to gain admission into U.S. undergraduate colleges. But it was not enough to get me the positions I wanted. I realized that I had to continue what my parents started. It was then that I began my upward journey on the academic ladder. I am sure that you too are cognizant of the need for higher education, and that you also consider education to be a valuable possession. You would not be here today if you believed otherwise. You have worked hard, and you have made many sacrifices to get where you are today. But be assured, your rewards will be well worth your efforts. In fact, you have already begun to enjoy one of the greatest rewards of education. This reward is a sense of pride, of self-worth, of self-esteem. You are not the only ones enjoying the rewards of your labor. Your family, friends, and teachers are also bursting with pride as a result of your achievements. You now possess the key that may open many doors for you. You can now begin to realize some of your dreams. You can begin to climb the socio-economic ladder, and you can begin to widen your social horizons. You can do all these things and more because you have the powerful ammunition to help you compete for dwindling resources. However, you must not forget that a bachelor's degree is not the ultimate educational weapon. This can be acquired by continuing to climb the academic ladder. You owe it to your brothers and sisters, but above all, you owe it to yourself to continue to strive towards greater achievements. While savoring the taste of our achievement and striving to realize our dreams, let us not forget our young ones. Let us not forget their needs. Let us not forget that they are tomorrow's generation, and let us not forget that we must consider paying back something to the community. We can do this by becoming role models, friends, and educators for the younger members of our society, and by becoming involved in community affairs. You have demonstrated over the years that you have what it takes to make a difference. You have what it takes to help our race acquire its rightful share of this heritage. Fellow scholars, as you are about to take those giant steps into the world, I pray that God guide you every step of the way, and may the impressions you make be good ones. Good luck. Farewell. I love you all, and I'll miss you. God bless you. God bless Medgar Evers College.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Luberta Mays, Dean of Academic Affairs and Deputy to the President, who will now introduce the chairpersons of the academic divisions of the college.
The chairpersons of the academic divisions
will now present candidates for their respective degrees. And now in the Division of Business Administration, Dr. Wendell Clement, chairperson, will present the candidates for their degrees.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and Associate of Science in Business Administration please stand and remain standing until all of the candidates' names in this division have been called. Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Business Administration and the college faculty, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science and Associate of Science degrees for January 1989 and the prospective candidates for June 1989 and August 1989, whose degrees are contingent upon completion of course requirements for that time.
By order of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these graduates the degree appropriate to their course of study and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration please come forward?
Come.
They're supposed to give them to me when they come up here.
They'll give you the card.
This was the subject.
Which way will they come?
You're going to come this way. Donna G. Williams, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting, magna cum laude. Bibi Ghani Williams, Bachelor of Science degree, Business Administration, specialization, Accounting, cum laude. Bernice Joseph, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Debbie Chen, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Caroline Belliard, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Carol Caesar, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Bernita Gadsden, Bachelor of Science degree, specialization, Management. Lydia Octava Gibbs, Bachelor of Science degree, Business Administration, cum laude. Jennifer John, Bachelor of Science degree, Business Administration. John E. Scott Farley, Bachelor of Science degree, Business Administration. I'm sorry, Joan. Joan Scott Farley. Grace Ajayi, Bachelor of Science degree, Public Administration. Veronica B. Nadillo, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Marlene V. Henry, Bachelor of Science degree, Business Administration, cum laude. Marion Labordi, Bachelor of Science degree, concentration, Marketing. Deborah H. Romaine, Bachelor of Science degree, Business. Dolores Clary, Bachelor of Science degree, Business, cum laude. Sylvia Johnson, Bachelor of Science degree, Business, Concentration Management, magna cum laude.
Oh, yes.
Lauren Long, Bachelor of Science degree, Concentration Management, cum laude. Donna Marie Francis, Bachelor of Science degree, Business. Carlita Barrow, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Thank you. Cecilia Perch, Bachelor of Science degree, Concentration Management. Phyllis Martin, Bachelor of Science degree, Concentration Marketing. Maureen Morgan, Bachelor of Science degree, Academic Honors, cum laude. Patricia Price, Bachelor of Science degree, Concentration Marketing.
Okay.
Norm Kong, Bachelor of Science degree, Business Administration. Sandra McMillan, Bachelor of Science degree, Concentration Marketing. I was afraid this was going to happen.
Yeah. You want me to read them and you give out the degrees?
Let me try a few more. Marcus Bostic, Bachelor of Science degree, Concentration Marketing. Eugene E.K. Tessay, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting, summa cum laude. Lennox Peter Jones, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Kuku Abiodun, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Thomas Bardulia, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Gregory Knowles, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Mr. Edward Stuga, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. Mr. Robert White, Bachelor of Science degree, Concentration Management. Henry Lloyd Johnson, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting. George Zen, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting, cum laude. Ero Fabricio Vega Ruiz, Bachelor of Science degree, Business Administration, cum laude. Nelson Carrillo, Bachelor of Science degree, Business, cum laude. Who is it? Is that yours? Yes. What is that? Sylvia Scott, Bachelor of Science degree, Business and Accounting. Audrey Scott, Bachelor of Science degree, Business. Carolyn Ann Prescott, Bachelor of Science degree, Accounting, cum laude. I'm going to let you read.
Mary Roseanne Ambrose, Accounting, magna cum laude. Lilith Jackson, Business Administration. Sandra Ford Barnett, Business Administration. Dorothy Lee Scott, Business Administration. Eula Stokes, Business Administration. Bernadette E. Metzger, Business Administration. Camilla D. Boucher, Accounting, Certificate of Achievement, magna cum laude. Gilma George, Accounting, Bachelor of Science. Ermite Belfort, Business Administration, Management. Lulu Helen Hopkins, Accounting, Bachelor of Science. Folashade Oluwo, Business Administration, Bachelor of Science, Marketing. Grace Ilori, Business Finance, Bachelor of Science. Shamara Austin, Business Administration, Management. Gloria Briggs, Associate in Science. Angela Dowdy, Computer Applications, AAS. Bernice Hamilton, Business, AS. Marie Pierre Antoine, Computer Applications, AS. Yvonne Williams, Business Administration, AS. I have a William Colazzo? Right there, okay. William Colazzo, Computer Applications, AS. Wapple Kelman, Business Administration, magna cum laude, AS. Delcinia Costin, Secretarial Science, AAS. Angela P. Aline, Computer Applications, AAS. Norva McIntosh Butler, Computer Applications, AS. Yvonne Dawkins, Business Administration, AS, cum laude. Deborah V. Pratt, Computer Applications, AAS. Trafalgar Palmer, Business Administration, AS. Dolores Roan, Business Administration, AS. Michelle Otley, Applied Associate in Computer Applications, AAS. Gwendolyn Risher, Computer Applications, AAS. Andrea D. Thompson, Business Administration, magna cum laude, AS. And Alicia Joseph, Business Administration, magna cum laude, associate degree in science. All right. Yeah. That's yours?
Yeah.
This is mine. Okay.
Thank you.
In the Division of Education, you may be seated, please. Thank you. In the Division of Education, Dr. Roderick Loney, chairperson, will present the candidates for their degrees. Dr. Loney.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Education and Associate of Arts in Elementary Education please stand and remain standing until all of the candidates' names in this division have been called. Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Education and the college faculty, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Education degree and Associate of Arts in Elementary Education degree for January 1989, the prospective candidates for June 1989, and August 1989, whose degrees are contingent upon completion of course requirements by that time.
By order of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree appropriate to their course of study and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Education degree please come forward? Joseline Anita Edwards, Bachelor of Science, summa cum laude. Geneva I. Anthony, Bachelor of Science. They all Bachelor of Science. Alice Alexander Haling. Marilyn A. Campbell. Willie M. Drew. Eartha Gabrielle. Sarah Graham. Wanda Holt. Annette Lyons. Gracie Montgomery. Felicia Neely. Idella Randolph. Cecile E. Lawrence. Claudette Candice Seals, magna cum laude. Okay. Great, thank you. Carrie Robertson. Michelle Elizabeth Charles. Cynthia Mullen. Jean-Marie Enola McKay. Doris J. Dunbar. Aura Lee Cooper. Yes. Yvonne M. Forbes. Carol Garrick, magna cum laude. Elliot Carambellas, summa cum laude. Brenda Brunson. Rafaelina Sanchez.
We're going to ask the photographers to please...
Gabrielle Scott.
They're only professional, but please go back, please. We're going to stop until we finish. We're going to really stop until we finish.
Joan Scott.
Come.
Sharon Stewart. John Joford Sutherland. Sandra Smiling, summa cum laude. Novella Washington, cum laude. Yvonne Washington. Marjorie Wilson, cum laude. Hazra Whitney, cum laude.
It goes right on.
Yep.
No, wait right here.
The candidates for the Associate of Arts in Elementary Education are now coming through. Camille Todd.
You didn't do
Seltha Brown. I'm sorry. Zena Jackson. Ethel Beckles. Wendy Naima Cornegay. Maxine Foster. transfer. Graduates from the Division of Education may now be seated.
In the Division of Health Sciences, Dr. Bertie Gilmore, chairperson, will present the candidates for their degrees.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in nursing please stand and remain standing until all candidates' names have been called? Okay. Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Health Sciences and the college faculty, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in nursing for January 1989, prospective candidates for June 89 and August 89, whose degrees are contingent upon completion of course requirements by that time. Mr. President.
By order of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree appropriate to their course of study and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in nursing please step forward?
No.
You want to give it to me?
You want to do it that way? Yeah. No, I don't mind shaking the hand. Okay.
Jacinta D. Adams, valedictorian and summa cum laude.
Hand it to you on the left, yeah.
Verna McKenzie,
I think the best.
I better get back on.
summa cum laude.
Yes, could we just stop for a minute?
Elena V. Powell, BS in nursing. Oh, okay. Yvonne Charles, BS in nursing. Catherine Chambers, BS in nursing, cum laude. Norma Jordan, BS in nursing. Lydia Carrasquello, BS in nursing. Dolores M. Green, BS in nursing. Josephine C. Brody, BS in nursing. Elizabeth Marslow, cum laude, BS in nursing. Ann Dietrich, BS in nursing, magna cum laude. Carmen Spence, BS in nursing. Sandra Jones Houston, BS in nursing. Marie Lawrence, BS in nursing. Eunice Nicholson, BS in nursing. Gloria Campbell, BS in nursing. Elia de Wilsant, cum laude, BS in nursing. Rosetta Marie Melvin, BS in nursing, summa cum laude. Gail Williams, summa cum laude, BS in nursing. Gail Stewart, BS in nursing. Granina E. Haynes Smith, summa cum laude, BS in nursing. Halshay Raphael Louis, BS in nursing, magna cum laude. Malin Daniels, BS in nursing. Gertrude John, BS in nursing. Will the candidates for the bachelor's degree in nursing please be seated?
In the Division of Humanities, Dr. Elizabeth Nunez Harrell, chairperson, will present the candidates for their degrees.
Will the candidates for the Associate of Arts degree please stand and remain standing until all of the candidates' names in this division have been called? I think our candidates are here. Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Humanities and the college faculty, I present to you the candidates for the Associate of Arts degree in Humanities for January 1989, the prospective candidates for June 1989 and August 1989, whose degrees are contingent upon completion of course requirements by that time.
By order of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these graduates the degree appropriate to their course of study and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Associate of Arts degree in Humanities please come forward? Modesta Baltazar. Sharad Ferguson Buchanan. Leolyn Palmer. Trevor John.
You can ask them to sit down when they come back.
Graduates from the Division of Humanities will now be seated.
In the Division of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, Dr. Seymour Ian, chairperson, will present the candidates for their degrees.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree, Associate of Applied Science degree, and Associate of Science degree please stand and remain standing until the candidate's name in the division has been called? Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Natural Science and Mathematics and the college faculty, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree, Associate of Applied Science degree, and Associate of Science degree for January 1989, the prospective candidates for June 1989 and August 1989, whose degrees are contingent upon completion of the courses required by that time.
By order of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree appropriate to their course of study and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree please come forward? Lisa P. Arlene, degree, bachelor's, major biology. Skeeter Bali, biology, BS, cum laude. Jacqueline A. Wright, computer science. Lawrence O. Kendall, computer science. Associate in Applied Science. Anne Aristilda, Computer Science, AAS, cum laude. Erland Matthew, Computer Science, Associate in Applied Science, magna cum laude. Sharon Ludnam, Computer Science, Associate in Applied Science. Jean Joseph, Jean, Computer Science, AAS degree. Gloria Lee Chow, Computer Science, Associate in Applied Sciences. Sylvia E. Fisher, Computer Science, Associate in Applied Science. Edison Lockham, Computer Science, AAS. Cheryl Louisa Clark, Computer Science, Associate in Applied Science. Trevor Primus, Computer Science, AAS. Lisa Jackson, Computer Science. Wilburn Berry, Computer Science, Associate in Applied Science. Darren Johnson, AAS, Computer Science. Sandra M. Innes, Computer Science, Associate in Applied Science. Yeah. Will the candidates in a natural science degree program please be seated?
In the Division of Social Sciences, Dr. Thomas Edwards, chairperson, will present the candidates for their degrees.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Public Administration, Bachelor of Arts degree in Psychology, Associate of Arts degree, and Associate of Science in Public Administration please stand and remain standing until all the candidates' names in this division have been called. Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Social Science and the college faculty, I present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree, the Bachelor of Arts degree, Associate of Arts degree, and Associate of Science degree for January 1989, the prospective candidates for June 1989 and August 1989, whose degrees are contingent upon course completion at that time.
By order of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York, and by virtue of the authority vested in me, I now confer upon these candidates the degree appropriate to their course of study and admit them to the honors, rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
These candidates are last, but by no means least. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree in Public Administration please come forward? James Edward Sutton, Public Administration, Bachelor of Science, Senior Class President. Okay, Linda Schurler, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Mabel Porter, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration. Miriam Korsman, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Shirley Lewis, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration. Howard Bishop, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration, cum laude. Jacqueline Dixon, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration. Richard Reed, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Penelope J. Stubbs, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration. Gail Reed, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Janet Rose, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Wanda Guy, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration. Ricardo Peliez, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration. Cheryl Woods, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Mary Stone, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Lennox Williams, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology, summa cum laude. Karen Prince, Bachelor of Science, Public Administration. Winifred Harewood, Bachelor of Arts, Psychology. Martha Rose, Associate in Science, Social Science. Janet Ortiz, Associate in Science, Public Administration. Evelyn Cole, Associate in Arts, Social Science. Lisa Lewis Kerner, Associate in Science, Public Administration. Lyndon Philip Cunnings, Associate in Science, Social Science. Patricia Arnold, Associate in Arts, Social Science. What do I do next? Okay. Okay, now. All right, now, okay, I asked them to sit down. Okay, there, okay. Okay, would you turn your tassel to the right, please? Okay. Okay, will the candidates from Social Science please be seated?
Topic 21.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Mays, and congratulations to all of the graduates. On behalf of the college and the class of 1989, I would like to express our appreciation to our commencement speaker, the Honorable Percy Sutton, to our distinguished guest, to our faculty, the friends of the college, and the parents of our graduates, in making this occasion possible.
Barbie said things are just a little mixed up. I think I was supposed to make a few remarks, but I think that I wanted to congratulate the students. Keep on and ever. I think you've heard enough of those speeches. And enjoy your lives ahead and never give up. And on behalf of the Community Council, we are so happy to see that Medgar Evers is a thriving institution. Congratulations.
This is an open letter to the graduates of the class of 1989 from me. Dear graduates, this is an open letter to each one of you. How easy it is for individuals to be caught up in their own time, to be concerned about where they are going, to the extent that they easily forget where they have been or from whence they have come. Some will say that the past is a descending into the past, while competitors who focus on the present reap the glory, is for dreamers. Were we concerned only about worldly goods, such might be the case. However, it is because of those visionaries among us, whose calling it is to remind us of the broader perspective, we are assured that it is not only where we are going which defines who we are, but that it is also a matter of where we have been which makes us who we are. The past is as important as the future. The past supplies us with a sense of identity, a framework for understanding our world that is shared with others. We can therefore recognize that a person of a different culture offers us insights outside of our own framework without having to adopt their way of thinking. It is our own past which can tell us why we think in the ways that we do. The visionaries in our culture are a source of power, for they work to preserve the integrity of their culture when cultures cross paths. Our visionaries ensure that we are enlightened not homogenized by the confluence of our various past. We hope that you have learned those lessons well here at Medgar Evers College, and that you will carry those notions of your past with you wherever you go. You are our visionaries. Although what we are celebrating here today is a commencement, it is also an ending, the culmination of years of study. Some of you feel a real glow of accomplishment, some an equally satisfying sense of relief, and some of you may even be a bit uncertain about what lies ahead. That all comes with the territory. Above all, as you move on, remember to carry with you always the ability to turn around and look in any direction. For if education has any single goal, it is to encourage people to know how to ask questions and to know how to go about getting the answers. It is not enough to be a listener, a passive member of the audience. It is not enough to look straight ahead. It is not enough to breathe a sigh of relief and assume that your learning days are over. The truly educated person is the individual who never stops learning. The graduation ceremony and the degree you have received, will tell the world that you are ready, that you have passed through an important phase in your academic life. If education has been completely successful, it will have taught you how much more there is to learn. You have climbed the mountain. It was easier for some of you than for others, but for all of you, it is an accomplishment which your families, friends, children, loved ones applaud. We congratulate you. You have completed an important phase of your education. Use it well, but remember, this is only the beginning. And Mrs. Bush, I now get to say this. As president of Medgar Evers College, I now declare this 18th commencement at an end. I would like you all to stand for the benediction. Thank you.
Let us pray. Go in peace. Remember the widow, the fatherless, the stranger who is within and outside your gates. And be at peace. Amen.